I'm making way more. I'm making like 3 times as much money as I was as a truck driver. I've got more freedom. Like I travel a lot more for myself, not just driving for a truck, because I live in Maryland, family are in Tennessee. I can like just up and go when I want, because I don't have to sit here in my office and do it. I can do it at the beach. I can do it from my phone anywhere I have Wi-Fi.
Hey, in this one, we're gonna cover how did Tom go from stressed out truck driver working away from home to making $18,000 last month online, fully remote, having total control over his location, time, and finances as well. So if that's something that you would want to create for yourself, then bring a pen and a paper, put down any distractions, and take notes, because we're going to cover everything step by step. So if you like this video, would like to see some more, please consider subscribing. I have a bunch more coming for this channel in the near future. If you have any questions for myself or Tom, just put them in the comments below. And if you're ready to take action and be potentially the next success story, just click the link in the description, book a quick call with our team, and see if you qualify. So let's get to the interview. Tom, welcome in. I really appreciate you doing this, and I think a lot of people who are going to watch this are super excited to get your feedback and hear you on how did this happen. Do you mind if I share screen and show people the post that you posted inside our group?
Sure.
So for you guys watching, Tom just had an $18,000 month. To be total transparent, this is not all from appointment setting, right? So I believe you do take calls for this business. Do you mind sharing what's the ratio between appointment setting versus taking calls, so that people wondering what's the potential here?
Yeah, actually, one call, well, 2 calls were actually, or closes, I should say, were basically chat closes. One was a like 3-month follow-up that a closer had, but he stopped following up, and I started following up and closed the guy. And the other person, she didn't want to talk to a salesperson on Zoom, so she wanted to talk to me through chat, and she closed.
There you go.
Yeah, for July, I really had 2 closes that I did. Yeah, like actual like closes. So
got you. And just for the people, I know that I know some people are very skeptical online, and they might be thinking, okay, you might have like one great month. I know that you posted not too long ago in our group chat, I came prepared, that April was not a too bad a month for you either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How consistent this is? Like how long this over 10K months been going on for you? Is it cool if you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's sure, definitely. March was under 10K. It was like closer to 9, but every other month, I believe, was over 10K. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, January through July.
So let's look back in the beginnings. So you pretty much started with us like what, like a year ago, right? Roughly.
Yeah, it was around in August if I look at our chats.
Yeah, so that's exactly a year from now, or a year ago from now.
Yeah.
What were you doing back then? I know you mentioned in the post inside of Facebook group that you used to be working as a truck driver. What happened a year ago that made you transition?
Well, I really didn't like driving. Always gone from home. And just truck driving wasn't what it was always cut out to be. And then we got, like, the account I was on we got laid off, and so they paid us some like compensation. And so I wasn't really hurting for money, so I was just like, I'm going to figure something else out. I don't want to be a truck driver anymore. And so and I'm already a real estate investor, and so I was working with my nephew, like on Facebook, sending out chat messages, and I was like, gosh, there's got to be a better way of doing this, because I was not getting any success. Yeah. Okay. And I didn't know that at the time, like that's actually kind of like appointment setting, doing cold outreach and so forth. But yeah, I was just trying to figure out a better way to do it. And somehow, and I don't think I contacted you directly, but I found you inadvertently through some other, like, one of those mindset type.
Yes, like Instagram
IG
pages
posts.
is what you mean?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I want to check some of these guys out. And that's how we first connected, was through that.
Do you remember what stood out to you about, let's say, me or what we're doing, opposed to, because there's a bunch of other people, getting featured on pages similar to that?
Mm-hmm. No, maybe because you or whoever your appointment setter was talking to me, answer my questions, because I'm probably like one of the people you hate talking to as an appointment setter. just trying to get the information. I'm like, I don't know, because
Yeah.
I didn't know what an appointment setter was, and I remember the funny thing was like you asked me about being an appointment setter if I knew anything about it. I was like, well, I had an appointment at the doctor the other day. I mean, that's about all I know about appointments.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's very similar because at the end of the day, you are creating an appointment for somebody else. In the online
yeah,
space, it's usually not for a doctor, but yeah, I get it.
right.
Okay. So you were like looking for different opportunities. You know, like you had enough of driving. Like you've been driving. How long you did that driving for?
I did. I was driving for 3 to 4 years.
Okay. And this was
Yep.
like, let's draw a line in the sand. It was enough. I'll do something else. I'll figure it out or I will die. Was it like this, like of a moment?
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Mhm. What made you look for stuff? You just, so you said you accidentally stumbled into us online, but were you actively looking for something? You said you guys were already doing this real estate kind of stuff with your nephew. Why don't you guys
Yeah.
just settled and did more of that, you know?
I started doing that, and also and was putting like $3,000 a month towards uh, online and advertising for our
Mhm.
real estate. Um, and then I was doing the chat like Facebook DMs to people. Didn't have any structure or anything, and so like people reaching out, people we had like very low success responses and everything.
Got
So
it. Was it like,
I,
were you trying to find buyers with the advertisements or were you trying to find sellers or who were you advertising to?
yeah, we were looking for sellers, people who wanted to sell their house. Yeah,
And you wanted to
and
do
then
like wholesale?
yeah, wholesale and also turn it around into like selling it on owner financing at another point.
Okay, got you. Okay. And were you guys bringing in any money from it? Was it going good? Was it going decent? Was it going negative? Like, how did it go?
Yeah, it was all negative. I mean, like I continued doing that while I was working with you, trying to learn appointment setting and everything, training with you and everything. And I never treated that like I still never treated that as an appointment setter job. But like I continued doing it, and it just never like came to fruition for anything for me other than spending $3,000 a month in ads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still do it or you guys no longer do that?
Well, I still do real estate investing, but I don't do that with him anymore. So would yeah,
Okay.
do other things. Yeah.
I see what you mean. Okay. So you took the leap of faith. Um, what made you decide that, okay, this is for me? Because it seems like it was a really good match in terms of like you were already doing this in a way. Now you find somebody who's been there, done that, doing it. Probably you can learn some things for them. And was the original idea to try implement what we teach to what you guys were doing? Or was the
Mm,
idea to kind of like what you're doing right now, which is get a client, do it for them, and scale?
yeah. Yeah. The second there actually like I didn't even um try to apply it towards our real estate investing that way. But once I got going with the training and everything, I wanted to be focused and get through it and then find a client. But I struggled in the beginning looking for clients because I was super focused on doing it with real estate in the real estate niche. So, like all the clients I reached out to were all appointment setters. Had to go through the gatekeepers, and it was not very successful.
Exactly. Like, you know, with all of the higher level people, they're usually a team around them working. So you got to find ways. One of the ways that we teach, so for everybody watching, like you guys can implement it, is find the person's or the head coaches or somebody in the team's email address instead of just shooting them a random message on Instagram. Because most of the time they have their Instagram or social media handled by a setter already. So this is how
Mhm.
you can just probably go like sneak under them and probably get your way into the team, maybe land an interview, maybe just raise awareness overall because yeah, they may have a team today, but the main idea is that they know you so that they start becoming familiar with the idea that you might be one potential candidate future down the line. And yeah, that does not like land you a client right away, but slowly and steadily you start building up a network. What brought you the breakthrough, if that was anything like that?
Yeah, actually, working with you, you got a gig, you found opportunity for me. Um, we had to jump through some hoops with them to yeah, interview, I guess, somehow. But really, it was performing like some people they had trouble with, trying to figure out how to get them to set an appointment and close. Actually, in that time, it was just email. So yeah, it was through you and your connections that we found this real estate opportunity.
Gotcha. And for people asking, was it always like, did you start making this kind of amount that you're making right now from day one? Was it a progression? How did it look like when you first get into this opportunity?
Yeah, like I think we got started in October, early mid October.
Yes.
And it was a lot of like learning how to do it the way they wanted it exactly, specifically. And it was just an email. And I think that I had maybe one sale in October. Yeah. For the,
It didn't look
started October
promising. Yeah,
10th.
it didn't look promising on my end
No,
either.
I was worried. Um, yeah, I was really worried about it. But I stuck with it through November. And then things were picking up. I think we threw in Facebook chats, doing DM. That helped. That started picking up. Um, we had a Black Friday special. I remember like that Friday, it was my best day then. I was like, yeah, I made $1,000 in one day commissions.
Yeah, I think you
So
already posted about it in the Facebook group. You were pumped.
yeah,
That was a good day. I
I
remember that.
was excited. Yeah.
You know what's interesting story to cut you off is some of our most successful students also went through this kind of like, hey, I have an opportunity. It doesn't look good. And even sometimes they were on the verge of quitting that opportunity, but they stick for a little bit longer. And that
Hmm.
opportunity became a very good one. Laszlo, for example, Timo did the same. You kind of like persevered the quote unquote shitty phase of the business. So now you're reaping the goals, or what is it called?
Hmm.
Reaping the rewards. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean,
so for,
there wasn't just a learning curve, but like it was also opportunity to learn more about how marketing for and the sales and everything was working too. So I was, I might not have made much money in the beginning, but I was, gaining the knowledge and experience there. So definitely more ways to get paid than just money.
And it's very interesting that you mentioned that right now we're looking for people who could help us on the sales side. And that's the kind of idea like we're battling between two types of people. One who are fresh, brand new, don't know anything, and the other ones who are super experienced, but they expect to make crazy amounts of money from day one.
Mm-hmm.
And it just does not work like that. You know, as you can
Yeah.
see from experience, you join a company, and the best companies usually are in the growth phase when they're usually making anywhere from 10, maybe 20 up to 50,000 a month, and
Mm-hmm.
they like really dedicated, motivated to grow, but they just haven't figured every piece of the puzzle out yet.
Right.
So if you can join them at the right time, it might not seem like the best deal for the first few months, but if you stick with it long enough, you're one of the many examples that I've seen, who did that. But anyways, what is next for Tom? Like you're doing pretty good already.
Mm-hmm.
Are you happy the way things are right now? Are you looking to grow and scale? What are your plans?
Like I mentioned, you always want to keep improving your own skills, and so I want to keep doing that. Keep developing, how I'm looking at conversations, the way people respond, and take the cues from them, and use those in my conversation with people. So I'm always going to continue doing that. Like whether I continue coming back, I go to your coaching calls, and then like I'll hire another coach just on the side for other skills. It's good to have some other perspectives. And then I'm also in two closer like coaching groups. Just it helps to learn about closing, and then it helps me as a setter too, because you got to handle objections, especially if you're closing people in chat, like I do too. It sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of people overlook this, in terms of
Yeah.
setting, because yeah, as a setter, you book calls and then they have a closer, a team handling the calls. But here's the kicker. A lot of people don't know or don't fully understand that the people that you chat with, they do think that you are the business owner for the most part. So
Mhm.
you're not going to say that, hey, I'm Tom from XYZ's business. They think that
Right.
you are the real estate guru or the whatever coach that, their hero is. So
Mhm.
sometimes I close so many deals this way. When they had a conversation with the closer couldn't close the deal, but then they have a chat with me and then they end up buying because they think
Right.
now I'm talking to the man. if it makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
And yeah, you said
And
like, go ahead.
so yeah, like you did mention, like I am in a real estate program, and I have the knowledge of real estate from investing in real estate. So that was a benefit for me in this particular program because I had to answer a lot. In the beginning, it was all like holding their hand, building relationship. It's not it wasn't a normal uh type business like as a setter that you get into. But I had to answer lots of technical questions,
Yes.
legal questions, and so the ones I didn't know, I had to take the time to learn because in America, we've got the federal law,
Mhm.
and then every individual state's got their own laws. So yeah, I had to like better understand each of those.
And it's also
For,
something like regardless what niche you're going to be working with as a setter, you need to understand the product or the program and the
mhm,
different like parts of it. Like let's say you're working with an e-commerce coach, you got to know the different vehicles, avenues, advertising structures, etc. At least on a basic level so that you can explain it to people. You don't have to be an expert at it, but you need to be able to answer those kind of questions. Like how do you do it? You ask the coach, you start gathering like an FAQ list so that you're
mhm.
building up your knowledge as you work. And I don't want to say it, but I know it very much that, working with these kinds of companies, like how much you think your real estate knowledge has grown just because you've been working with this individual.
Yeah, because um, it's about owner financing, but it's me owner financing the properties of people, and I understood owner financing, but not to do it to sell the property to other people. So it was a great like mindset shift, and it's been good because I get to go through the program and use it for my real estate investing. And so you were asking me a little bit ago about what's my goals, my future, tomorrow and so forth. But that's to continue investing in my real estate. So appointment setting is a means to get there, especially like so I'm doing well with this current program. But if like I had another opportunity, I would probably do two at the same time, increase what I'm making just to continue using that in my investing.
If you can, exactly. Or you can like that's why I lay out the path for people in the beginning. Like there's many ways that you can scale your income if that's what you want to do. Number one, of course, you can take on, let's say, two opportunities, maybe maximum three, but you're going to be capped out. Or
Mm-hmm.
as you said, like learn different complementary skill sets that's going to also make you more valuable, help the business close more deals. Like in your case, like closing and sales, which is great.
Yep.
Or option three, which is start building slowly your own kind of foundation, maybe your own agency. You work with one client, you start training people with you, and then they start working with a second one. And now you're starting to build a business foundation with all the skills that you've been learning to get paid for.
Yeah. So, like
Cool.
another thing I would mention is, you need to have a good work ethic. I mean, you think maybe you could just come in and put in 4 hours a day and make 4 to 8K a month. But if you talk to more people, there's more opportunities to close people. Of set appointment to close. You're just going to increase how much money you make. And so, that's how.
Yeah, so like so for the people watching, this is not passive income. Like the more you put in, the more you will get out. It's period. And I know that we have a lot of students who are coming in with a 9 to 5 job or some kind of opportunity that they already work in that pays for the bills, pays for the family, pays for the mortgage, etc. And they do have less time available besides that. So yes, you can get started with 2 to 3 hours a day to get your
Yep.
first initial opportunity, probably transition out of that. But the minute you can devote a little bit more time and just push the gas pedal a little bit harder,
But
that's where the transition happens, really. What I wanted to ask you is like, how is life, let's say, before or last year compared to
mhm.
how is things right now? Is like a night and day difference? Is it like you were
Oh,
already
yeah.
making great money and now you're making a little bit more? Like,
I'm making way more. I'm making like almost three times as much money as I was as a truck driver. I've got more freedom. Like I travel a lot more for myself, not just driving for a truck. Because I live in Maryland, family are in Tennessee. I can like just up and go when I want. Because I don't have to sit here in my office and do it. I can do it at the beach. I can do it from my phone anywhere I have Wi-Fi. So I've got like freedom of time and location to do this. And then that's the great part. So I'm not only making more money in sales, but I've got more freedom.
Got you. So you say you were probably bringing around 72-ish K a year before, and now you're on track to do what, like 200-ish?
Yeah, getting closer to 200. And it's the most money I've ever made. Yeah. And to be honest, um, I'm 51, and for 50 years, I could not stand salespeople or sales, and I thought I would never see myself doing it. I never really thought I was in a sales position until I just started doing it. And it's in my previous real estate coaching, they were like in sales, and they were like, if you want to grow your income, base it on your performance. Get into sales, and show how well you can perform and do it, and your income's not going to be limited. It's like a 9 to 5, putting in hours, getting a paycheck. Now this is unlimited growth. It's all based on you and growing your skills and learning how to do it better.
Crazy. And you know the interesting thing, like you talk a lot about sales because with the opportunity you said you are closing a few deals here and there in the chats and sometimes over the phone. But in like a traditional appointment setting role, you would not have to sell. You're just booking
No,
calls. That's
yeah,
that's that's the interesting thing. So I know that there's a lot of people who are exactly the same as you, like, hey, I don't want to sell people. I don't want to bug them to buy stuff that, you know, but at the end of the day, what you're doing is helping them transform their lives. If you work with people who do good things and you could see that the people they work with are actually getting the results that the program that they promote promises, then you're helping others change their life as well. And the question comes down
yeah.
to like, are you the kind of person who likes helping others?
Mhm.
You know?
And and I love helping people, but you really got to believe in what it is that you're
Exactly.
involved in too. Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm very happy for you. So one last question. I know it's getting a little bit long. So who would you recommend what we do to?
Well, just like I would definitely recommend get started with your coach. Balaz is great. You do your coaching calls twice a week. You jump on, like you would always jump on individually with me when I had needed help or other questions. So yeah, if you're thinking about changing your life somehow for the better, you got to invest in yourself and start learning how to do something. This is a skill to learn, but it's one you can definitely change your life with.
Appreciate it. And in terms of investing, it's not just financial. It's you got to
Mhm.
commit, like your time and energy and effort as well. Because of
Right.
course, without that, you would not be talking as you do right now. So, Tom, again,
Yeah.
congratulations. Many more to
Thanks,
come. I
Ross.
cannot wait to hear when you're going to crack 20K, 25, 30. We will see. Um, if you're watching, and I really appreciate you as well. If you would like to book a call with us, just click the link below this video. Tom, again, thank you so much. Cannot wait to see you later.
Yep.
Take care.
Take action today.